For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession. If among you one of your brothers should become poor, in any of your towns within your land that the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him and lend him sufficient for his need, whatever it may be. For there will never cease to be the poor in the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy, and to the poor in your land.
The real diaconal focus from here and into 1 Timothy is that the diaconate is raised up for deeds of mercy and deeds of service. Of the picture of Christ. Christ was mighty in word and deed. If we do not have an outlet, if we do not have a venue for ministry of deed, then Christ's ministry is not being adequately pictured.
And he said, all authority has been given to me in heaven and in earth. Therefore, this is my command to you. You go. Don't you wait. Don't you just sit there. You go. You go into all the world. And you don't stop going until you've made disciples. Don't just let people say, I'm born again, and leave them at that. Make disciples. Teach them everything that I've taught you. Don't just preach to them. You teach them. Teach them as they are able to understand. You don't stop teaching them until you've taught them everything that I've taught you. You make them disciples. And lo, I will be with you until the end of the age.
For you are a people holy to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth.
On the day of Pentecost, what is it that Jesus has accomplished? What is his grand design? It is to build his church. And who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ? They are people from every tribe and tongue and nation and people. You see, on the day of Pentecost, it's just a little glimpse, it's just a little cameo, it's like an hors d'oeuvre. It's a little taster of what is to come.
The invincible purpose of God is that the gospel of the glory of Christ spread to all peoples of the world and take root in God-centered, Christ-exalting churches.
And now it's your turn. It's your turn now to fill up that which is lacking in the sufferings of Christ. What's lacking in Christ's suffering? But what's lacking is all that suffering that's necessary to get the gospel out so the world can rejoice. Someone has got to suffer. Someone has got to pay the price. Someone has got to leave father and mother and wife and children and lands for the sake of the gospel.
In our effort to glorify God in all that we do, we must develop a deeper knowledge of God in ourselves, our students, those we work with, and the community we serve. Primarily through our vocation and vocational training, we will assist the local Church of Africa through Uganda to impact their communities with the gospel of Christ that many will know Him. We will teach, train, and equip our students to be disciples of Christ, become highly skilled in their trade, and to use their trade for the furtherance of the kingdom of Christ.
point one then. The invincible purpose of God is that the gospel of the glory of Christ spread to all the peoples of the world and take root in God-centered, Christ-exalting, Bible-saturated churches that bring cultures under King Jesus. God's plan is that the peoples be reached, the church be established, authentic worship rise to the King through the suffering and martyrdom of His people, especially His ministers and His missionaries.